G'day guys. In today's video, I'm going to be talking through my filter making process. As you can see, I'm pretty broke at the moment. A lot of that money was spent on Steph Curry, the 99 over two-way point guard, and he's an absolute beast. So let's make some of that money back. And the filter that I'll be walking you through today is one that I used earlier in the playoffs promo. Now that the finals promo is here, it's kind of shifted things around a little bit, so it's nowhere near as effective. But I'll talk you through how I made the filter, and that will give you some ideas of your own about making your own filters. The most important thing to note is that you just need to spend lots of time in the auction house to get familiar with the way things work, to get familiar with the prices that certain cards are going to have. There's no shortcuts to that. It just takes time and work. But if you're willing to put that time and work in, and I kind of enjoy that process, then you're definitely going to be able to build your own filters, which means that other people probably aren't going to be on them, and then you're going to get your higher returns. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to filter for third round or conference finals playoffs elites. And the way that I did that was selecting the playoffs program here in the search options. I then selected a minimum over of 87. So that was only showing high-end elites. I then only wanted the teams that were in the conference finals. That was Cleveland versus Boston and Golden State versus Spurs. Finally, I went through, actually before I show you that, so let's search for that and see what comes up. So we're getting lots of round 3 players here, but you'll see that we're also getting some first round players in Klay Thompson. There's a Draymond Green first round, a second round Iguodala, first round Smith. So at the time when I was creating this filter, those first round shooting guards were not very valuable at all. There was heaps of them in the market, so I actually needed to filter those out. And the easiest way to do that was to simply turn off the shooting guard position. So I filtered out that, as you can see there, and then we lost basically all of those round 1 cards, with the exception of Draymond Green. But as he was a 92 over, he was quite expensive. So if he appeared, then I was going to be making money off him. Same thing with Andre Iguodala, the second round 88 over. I was fine with those appearing because I was going to be making money off those. Now finally, I edited the price range, and at the time that I was doing this, my filter was about 120k, because anything that I got for 120k or under, I could immediately flip for profit. As you can see now, that's not the case, because the playoffs promo has evolved and prices have fluctuated. But as soon as the round 3 elites had been released, all of these players that were coming up on this filter were selling for 150k to 250k plus for some of the higher end players that would occasionally drop. Obviously now that's not happening with Andre Iguodala here. If we really wanted to get rid of him, there's a couple of ways we could do it. We could start introducing some letters into the player's name, but then you're going to lose players. We could turn off the team Golden State, then you're going to lose players. You can also turn off the position. So let's turn off the team Golden State and adjust our price to, let's say, 150. And this will give us an idea of whether we need to tweak the filter anymore. Okay, so now we can see that it's still showing a second round player in Al Horford, but that's fine because he's selling there for 150, 140-ish. And the other third round elites are selling for 130, 135. There was a David Lee. Deron Williams seems to be around the 150 mark. So Jonathan Simmons there, that's probably a pretty good price for him actually. He's a really fun card. I did a review on him. So throughout this process, I'm just looking at prices and I'm going, okay, so the lowest in the market, it seems to be at 135. So then we adjust our price accordingly. And there we go, that's filtered out a couple. So now we've only got, 2 cards there. And typically when I'm sniping, I'll actually adjust the price filters. Let's knock out David Lee there. So we're just seeing Al Horford. I would just show the lowest value card And I always like seeing one card there because it gives me an idea. I've got a little timer there. On iOS, we can't have a floating clock, unfortunately. So I've got an indication of the time there on Al Horford's card. So then when I'm doing my refreshes, it just helps when figuring out exactly when the drop is. But once I know when the drop is and I've got a timer on my computer or something else, then I simply, so I look at that 130k is going to be the cheapest regular price because he's been sitting there for 18 minutes and hasn't sold yet. So 10% of 130k is 13k. So if we subtract 13k from 130, we've got 117k. So anything that I get for less than say 115k is going to be straight up profit. So then it's simply a matter of, and you don't really want to make 2k profit, so I'd probably go 110. You pop in 110 once you know the drop time, and as soon as the drop time comes around, you just keep refreshing until new cards appear. At this point in time, there's no playoffs packs in stores, they're all the finals packs, so there's probably not going to be that many cards that appear. But during the promo, I was getting cards that I could instantly resell and make profit on every 2 to 3 drops, and sometimes I'll be getting multiple cards, and if I was really lucky, they would be the higher over, like the 92 Draymond Green. I had some drops where I was able to get a couple, 3 or 4 say cards that were higher over, and I would be making 500k just from sitting there checking the refresh in 10 or 15 minutes. Sometimes you have patches when it's drier, and that's fine. That's what sniping is all about. But if you've got the sort of the understanding and the willingness to work through that process that I just went through and experiment and test and tweak your filter, you can get something that's really unique, which means that you're going to have very little competition and you've got the potential for making lots of money. Obviously, as this has shown, filters evolve over time. You're not going to get one filter that's just going to work for 12 months. You're going to be constantly finding new filters, adjusting old filters, but that's part of the fun, right? So I hope that's been instructive. If you've got any questions, just leave them below in the comments and I'll try and clarify any concerns or any misunderstandings you might have. And if you enjoyed the video and found it useful, please like it and subscribe to my channel for more content coming out in the future. Thanks, guys.